Okay, today I'm going to be going over third quarter study guide part 1. So on your study guide, the first question, it asks if you can tell if the relationship is direct variation. To tell if a relationship is direct variation, you have to make sure that each of these ratios between y and x each time is going to be the same. So if you look at the first one, 45 divided by 5 gives you 9 over 1 if you reduce it. And the next one is 15 over 15, which gives you 1. Then the next one it would give you an improper fraction. So we can already tell from these two examples that this does not represent a direct variation. So the answer is no, because x and y ratio are not the same. So it's no. Number 2 says, given that y varies directly with x, what is the equation if y is 16 and x is 20? So we'll use the direct variation equation, which is y equals kx, and we would plug in y is 16 and x is 20. So we would put 16 equals k over 20. Now since those are being multiplied, k times 20, we're going to divide to get k by itself. When you divide 16 divided by 20, can't divide those evenly, so you can reduce both of those by dividing by 4, and you are left with 4/5. And this is what k would equal. Now it asks for equation, so we just have to plug this back into our original equation, which was y equals kx. So that would just be us writing y equals, and then k is 4/5 in x, because this is our equation written in direct variation form. Okay, so number 3 says, which best describes the graphs of the lines that pass through 0, 2, 6, 4, and the line that passes through 2, 1, and 5, 7. So when they give us 2 points, we use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find out what our line is. So these 2 points right here, if we plug them into the formula, we would get 4 minus 2 over 6 minus 0. So 4 minus 2 is we'd get 2 over 6, and we can reduce both of those by dividing by 2, and we would get our slope would be 1/3. And since they give us a point where x equals 0, whenever x equals 0, that y value, y is the y-intercept. So we already know our equation. So our equation would be 2 as the y-intercept. So it would be y equals 1/3 x plus 2. And now we would have to find out the other equation based off of these 2 points. So I would do the same thing. I would do 7y2, which is 7, minus 1 over 5 minus 2. So give me 6 over 3. So my slope for this one would be 2. So once I find out that my slope is 2, they don't give me another point with where x is 0, so I'm going to have to plug this in to y equals mx plus b. And I have to plug in the 2 for my slope, and then one of these points. So I'm going to plug in the 2 and the 1. So I'm going to come over here and put 2, 1. I picked 2, 1 as my point. So I'm plugging in 1 for y. and 2 for my x. And that's going to give me what my y-intercept is. So 1 equals 2 times 2 plus b. So then I would subtract 4 on both sides. And that would get me b equals negative 3. So I could use my slope and my y-intercept to write the equation 2x minus 3. Now it asks if the lines are coincident, if the lines intersect exactly at one point, they're parallel, or if the lines are in the same plane but never intersect. Well, we can look at these two and we can tell that they're not the same line, they're not parallel, so they're eventually going to intersect at one point. So the answer is going to be B. For number 4, we're comparing function 1 and we're comparing function 2. In order to compare the functions, you're actually just comparing the rate, which the rate is the same thing as the slope. So they already give us the rate or the slope for the first function, which 5/2 is also 2.5. But for the second function, since it's in a table, we also have to find the slope by doing the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is the slope formula. So you can pick 2 points and find the slope that way. So you have 7 minus 3 over 1 minus 0. Because this is our x value and this is our y value. So I get 4 over 1. So now I'm just comparing 4 and 2.5. So they ask you which one is greater. So I can say that function 2 is greater because function 2 is 4. Number 5 says Calliope and Matt both walk dogs to earn extra money. Each charges an hourly rate. The equation y equals 8.25x shows how to calculate y, the total charge in dollars for Calliope to walk a dog for x hours. The table below shows the information for Matt. So they already give us Calliope's equation, which his rate is 8.25. which we also know that that's the slope or the rate. And now we have to find the same information out for Matt. And we have a table, so we're going to use the same process that we used up here, the y2 minus y1. So we would do 34 minus 17 over 4 minus 2. So you get 17 over 2, which we would divide, and that would make 8.5, or 850. So Matt's equation would be 850, or his rate would be 850. So now we find out which statement is true. And Calliope hourly rate is 25 cents cheaper than Matt's. If you look, his hourly rate is cheaper.